the level of success that this pedal pick has been able to have as the weapon pedal. So I think teams are more willing to grab it now because of the fact that you can run it as a weapon carry and still have immense amounts of success with it. So that's going to be the Catherine. Now, the Baptiste is available. If Dynasty is not take it here, they could be giving that over, and it's not likely that Baptiste comes through when you already have a Krull.
Yeah, very unlikely that we see a Baptiste in the lane. Gwen, though, actually coming through for Dynasty, so PT Lamb going to be taking that one into the lane. Excited to see how that will do. We've seen very little Gwen this season.
Very little Gwen. I mean, she's not the strongest in this update. Is when it comes to carry heroes, usually you see the Kestrel, you see the Blackfeather, but Blackfeather off the table already, and Catherine already picked up by G2. It kind of forced Dynasty to go for the Gwen, because if you go Kestrel, the bubble reflecting damage, it could be very devastating. And going up against the Catherine, also your Skedaddle can be very effective for escaping ganks, escaping being locked down, and team fights in general as well.
Yeah, and the Gwen is also, if G2 were looking for the Baptiste, you have yourself the Skedaddle to avoid some of that crowd control and try and stick in these fights as they go on. So I'm wondering if G2 are now going to go for that. I feel like because of the Gwen pick, they're being a little bit more hesitant about their final selection.
I would actually love to still see it, because if they're going to go for the Baptiste, it's going to be more about protecting the pedal, and the Fearsome Shades with the Catherine crowd control coming out should do a great job of protecting the pedal. Very interesting. Instead, they're going to go with the CP pedal in the jungle, play it as a counter to the Krull. It does very well in general, and then pick up the Baron for Hundor.
Yeah, we've got the Hundor Baron coming on through. We know how devastating that can be. I want to talk about this lane matchup here. Gwen against Baron is a lane that I don't think we've seen at all this season. How does that matchup pan out?
It's still a matchup that it should actually be fairly even, just because Baron's going to be able to keep his distance. The Gwen has to get very close and multiple times has to be able to get in range and use the Buckshot Bonanza. It has a long range on it, but because of the fact that it's poke, Baron can just start off with a Book of Eulogies early on and be able to survive that poke and harassment and just get to the late game and build up, and should also have a little bit of extra help from the pedal. But the jungle is going to be so important because these rotations up, if Krull gets there without pedal being available to counter, then they can find those kills very easily.
It's going to be interesting to see first if Gwen is going to be CP or weapon power. If she is weapon power, she can shut down the Baron early on in the lane matchup.
All right, so having to be aggressive early in this lane coming out from PT Lamb. We'll see if he's got what it takes. Hashtag Vainglory 8. Let us know who you are supporting. Can G2 finish this one 2-0, or are we going to have a Dynasty uprising? It's time to pass it over to Jaws and Sean Ostino to find out.
Thanks, guys, once again. Game 2 underway, Sean. But this time, we've got Hundor on one of his most famous picks. He's got his Baron, but he's coming up against PT Lamb's Gwen.
Yeah, PT Lamb's Gwen is going to be... it's an interesting matchup, mostly because we did see... We have actually heard from the desk that there is a range advantage for Baron. He actually has just a 0.1 range advantage as far as I was looking. And but the thing is, with the Buckshot Bonanza, it is going to be up pretty frequently. And we could see that coming out. That Elder Treant is actually getting taken away by Dynasty. So they're already starting off with a good lead, just like last game, though. I feel like this composition coming out G2 is pretty much a protect the Hundor composition. And if they can keep him alive and have this Baron scale to late game, things are going to look pretty good for them.
And look pretty spicy coming into late. Potato looking to get something done a little early. There's the trampoline. Wants to actually steal away this Treant, and it does go over. So G2 off to a flying start already. Didn't manage to kill Elder Treant, however. Keanu did go in the 1v3, and it didn't work out for them this time. But PT Lamb, by the way, is going that Crystal Power route. So that's a lot of poke damage from range. I wonder if Hundor is going to be actually able to sustain in the late game.
Yeah, this is a really dangerous situation for Hundor now. Because we do have a CP Gwen on the fold now, that's going to be a lot more burst damage that's going to be coming out of the Buckshot Bonanzas. So they're going to have to be really, really careful here when Hundor is up in the lane farming. Especially, there's a very interesting interaction too. Ooh, Hundor doing a little bit of poke there on the PT Lamb. Actually, a lot of chunk damage coming down. But Rickameza, if he's able to stay in the bushes, get the Shadows Empower Me perk, and burst down Hundor, slow him up, that's going to make it a very easy target for PT Lamb. And they could even increase the slows with the Buckshot Bonanza as well.
Yeah, that's a scary prospect. Getting slowed down by the buckshot and then instantly getting hit by an ult from Rikumeza. Rikumeza having a tough time in the jungle right now. Same with Chef is actually going to have to back off. G2 determined to get Hundor ahead has actually rotated him down as well. But Dark Potato is going to secure most of this jungle. Hundor getting off his first recall is going to be able to pick up his first recipe item also. G2 flying start out the gate, but as soon as that level 6 lands, we know what happens. Arden's going to lock you in. You got PT Lamb with that AoE, and then you've got Rikumeza who's just going to be wailing on your backline.
Yeah, they have to be really careful once Chef is able to get level 6. Once he throws down those gauntlets, it's going to lock up Hundor. And if he doesn't have a reflex block, if we don't see Keanu Dekoa prioritizing a Crucible, that's going to be really difficult for him to get away. However, if he does, if he does max out his jump jets, that's going to help him as well with ignoring some of that CC that comes out as long as he starts up the jump jets. That'll allow him to get away. But at the same time, if he uses it to kite away, he doesn't use it to get his double auto attacks off. It's going to be really difficult for him to output a lot of damage as well.
That it will. G2 getting lane priority right now. Remember, they are a game up already over Dynasty. Upsets can happen of Dynasty, and teams like Mousesports have proved it in the past, but G2 needs to be able to secure this win to at least, well, have a chance to be able to get to Worlds in Singapore. Dynasty, they're starting to rack up that damage. I saw PT Lamb with the buckshot. That took about a third of Hundor's HP, so I'm looking forward to when he gets his first item online, because I want to see how much straight up damage he's actually going to do. And in fact, Hundor picking up a little bit of shielding on this back as well, really aware of how much damage PT Lamb is going to be able to do.
Yeah, really smart move by Hundor to pick up that light shielding. Once he gets to Aegis, it's going to be able to mitigate a lot of that damage. Jungle has intensified now, so the gold miner is on the map as well as the crystal sentries. But yeah, Hundor, he needs to get that Aegis online, but it's a risky situation because you want to prioritize the shielding, but also you want to be able to put more priority on your weapon power because you are this hyper carry Baron that Hundor is so known for playing. And if he's able to just scale the late game, it's going to be a really difficult time for Dynasty to deal with him.
That's what's so scary when you actually give Hundor something he likes. It turns into a helicopter and just dash over that wall with a jump jet. And that'll be Dynasty Gaming take again half of their HP as that Sora Blade has now been competed from Hundor. PT Lamb picked up a little bit of regeneration in that battery, but remember G2 do have the ability to push these waves extremely quickly and siege up that first tier turret. Now Rikumeza trying something a little sneaky. Probably will get he did get spotted out here on the scout trap, so Dark Potato will be able to get the jump on him at least. He's going to pop those boots to be able to get away, but just the rest of G2 are actually going to follow this one up. He's in the wrong place, wrong time, done up by the Merciless Pursuits. Ends up going down without the support of Sheaf or PT Lamb. First blood to G2.
Like you mentioned there, Jaws, a really well-placed scout trap mine was able to spot out Rikumeza, and a smart rotation out of G2 to come down and finish him off. Taking him out of position like that and getting first blood is so important to them, and we have a skirmish.
Ace is high, landed on Hundor. He's going to chug that flask. That was really nice from PT Lamb to prevent a little bit of that damage coming out of Hundor. Yanu looking for a stun. Skedaddle will use, and now G2 sieging up this turret. There comes Rikumeza though. Hits the From Hell's Heart to Dark Potato, trampolines away. That's the spontaneous combustion to keep himself alive. Also dissuade the rest of Dynasty Gaming as they just siege and take the turret.
So the turret goes over to G2. They have momentum from last game. They have momentum now going into the game with only 6 minutes in. Turret is down. 4 turrets stand between G2 and victory, taking the series and going on to day 2. Hundor, not only does he have a little bit of an edge over Gwen on played by PT Lamb here, but the more he invests into his ion cannon, the more he actually gets for his range for his basic attacks as well. So that's going to increase as we see the game go on, and by late game we're going to be seeing a lot of damage potential from just auto attacks coming out of Hundor. He has picked up the tension bow for his second item, so he's going to have a lot more burst damage. We did see tension bow get a little bit of a buff in 2.9.1 to compensate for a lot of the health that has been increased for base health for heroes. So it's going to be a really crazy thing. Immense gold payout going over to G2, and they're just keeping snowballing this game. 2,500 gold up now.
It's 7 minutes as well. I mean, you can kind of tell just looking at the laners. PT Lamb he's only got Shatterglass, and Hundor has got 2 items. He's now going to help Rickomeza clear out some of this jungle, share a bit of the XP and a bit of gold, but he is forced all the way back. This is where G2 like to play, Sean. So far up that Hundor can get basic attack for a basic attack, just poke down their lane opponent, and that lane opponent's PT Lamb, and with only 1 item and only a little bit of armor, gives G2 the time to do this. Crystal Sentry is going to be their next focus. They're going to take it with ease, and no real response from Dynasty.
Really smart move. G2 knew that they were actually all up in the lane and Dynasty wasn't going to do anything about it. Even though the jungle was pretty much cleared out, they still took advantage and took down that Crystal Sentry. If they're able to do that, eliminate the Crystal Sentry earlier in the game, then they're going to have an easier time pressuring not only the lane from Hundor on this Hyper Baron, but being able to pressure the jungle as well with Baron and Dark Potato on this pedal, who is doing a really good job of kiting away from Rickomeza.
Remember, there's a lot on the line for this game. Not only G2's world spot, but Dynasty Gaming potentially going into that challenge battles situation. Dynasty, however, they do have cooldowns on their side. Aces High is available, as well as that Gauntlet and the From Hell's Heart. They've got a lot of potential to lock down a single target, and you best believe that's going to be Hundor in these fights more often than not if they can find him. But I'm sure they'll be happy with someone like Dark Potato as well. But they just need to be able to land, and they need to find these team fights. G2 doing a good job now of just holding on to this lead. They know they don't necessarily need to go for an all-in engagement. They are just actually just going to take this Crystal Sentry straight off the spawn.
Yeah, this is going to be the second life for that Crystal Sentry. Oh man, Dynasty Gaming, things are looking pretty grim for them, but it looks like we got a little reverse situation in the mustache bushes here.
Yeah, although Rickomeza just walking down. Nice rotation actually from G2 again, playing on the fact that they know they're ahead and Dynasty Gaming know they aren't at full strength in order to fight them. They were to walk down the lane, clear the wave out, and that resulted in no damage going on to their first tier turret.
There's a really interesting dynamic here, Jaws. It's actually going in between the two teams. We don't see too much crowd control coming out of Kiana and Nakoa. We do see potentially double Blast Tremor. We see Merciless Pursuit as well. That is up very often. But if he's able to take that Merciless Pursuit and put it onto PT Lamb, then we actually do see the skedaddle that could get PT Lamb out of trouble. And let's see if he uses it now. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, get out of jail Fury card. Not used just yet. Maybe waiting for another stun to come through, although no fountain. Oh, hang on a second. That was an Aces High just going a little bit wide. G2, they might see this as an opportunity to go in. PT Lamb taking a lot of damage. Is actually forced to pop that flask, and even a spontaneous combustion use from Dark Potato as well. Okay, that's not the biggest cooldown in the world, obviously just about 35 seconds at this point, but a cooldown nonetheless. G2 now take that opportunity once again to take away some of Dynasty's jungle. And you look at the CS differential as well. Dark Potato, 61 CS at this current moment in time. Rickomeza, 40. 20 CS lead for Dark Potato, and that's not even mentioning the lane as well. They are very much even at this current moment in time, but Rickomeza trying to be one of these frontline tanks against Hundor with the limited items as gold that he's actually been able to acquire. That's going to leave him a much more vulnerable target.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation that I feel Rickomeza actually has been placed in, because we know that these Cruels, they want to be the bruisers, they want to be able to soak up a lot of damage and distract a lot. PT Lamb is the hyper carry here, and Gwen does not steal away that gold miner. It does go over to G2.
And they take that one under their belts. That's the second one for them now in a row. Dynasty Gaming not even having an ear in here. It's very hard for them to actually even find an engagement, even though they've got these engaged tools. G2 playing extremely well, although saying that, From Hell's Heart does land on the back line. Aces High does rickle through and does hit one member. It's going to be Kiana Nakoa, but look at that damage coming out from Hundor already. Iron Cannon's going to come down and finish him off with a kill. Jump jets forward, PT Lamb in a lot of trouble. Look at that grit from Hundor. 500 into a 500 damage rocket, and he finishes off PT Lamb, and that'll be Dark Potato using that trampoline to find the last basic attack on Chef. G2 find an ace on what was so most certainly going to be a Dynasty engagement win.
Oh man, even when the gauntlet came down, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, Dynasty's got this in the bag. But no, these crits out of Hundor are just amazing. The sentry is eliminated now, Jaws, just like what we were talking about. At 11 minutes, 45 seconds in, it is gone, and all the jungle now belongs to G2. The pressure in the jungle, the pressure in the lane is just immense. And the kiting ability that's coming out of both Hundor and Dark Dark Potato is something to behold. We do see a Tyrant's Monocle actually picked up by Hundor now. So you saw those crits earlier. It's going to be even more critical strike damage now coming out of Hundor. And the way he finished off Chef when he was going away, even with his Vanguard, he bursted him down so much that one shot from Dark Potato was able to finish him off.
Yeah, the Munions chased him down. Dark Potato says, thank you very much. Or in fact, the Munions finished him off. It wasn't even a basic attack, like I said. Oh man, it always feels bad when you get killed by a Munion. But G2 now 4-0 with a 3k gold lead. Oh no, sorry, 7k gold lead. I misread that completely. If it was 3k at this point, I'd be quite surprised. But Hundor 3-0. Oh boy, I bet he's happy with the fact that he can play a lot more Baron because they know how to play around it so perfectly. And Dynasty, they are so crippled. It feels, even if they get a perfect engagement, like you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, look, straight on top of Hundor. It's so hard for them to find a fight, although he does jump straight onto PT Lamb. There comes the Gauntlet, stuns him up. Ion Cannon's going to come down and obliterate PT Lamb. I don't know where he stands in this game. Can't walk up, can't be farther back because Hundor's going to jump on you and kill you. That'll be another kill for Hundor. I did manage, I think Rikomeza got the Crystal Century. So he trades 2 kills, gets the Crystal Century. G2 find another 2, and that's Hundor on a 5-0 streak.
Rekomeza, it's, trying to do some counter jungling here and taking the Crystal Sentry. I don't know if it was worth it though, because giving up the turret and losing 2 of your team members, it's not necessarily the best net gain for them. We do see this gold mine. Looks like it's going to be going over to G2, going to increase their ever-growing gold lead. If you look at the score lines for G2, the KDAs rather, 0-0 and 5 for Keanu Nakoa, 1-0-3 for Dark Potato, and 5-0-1 for Hundor. There's almost 100% kill participation here for them. They have 0 to 6 kills right now for G2. Things are looking so good for them. It's just a steamroll at this point.
You're an EU fan, this is how you want your teams to show up at Worlds, and G2 are making a statement right now. They are ready and raring to go to fight for that World spot in Dynasty. They might be in the Challenge Battles position as well here, Sean. This could be the final game for them if they don't find a perfect engage. But even then, with Hundor now at 4 items, double monocle, he's got an infusion, he's got tier 1 boots, because who needs boots when you can jump in and just 2-shot their front line? I mean, right now, 15 minutes approaching the clock. I mean, are we going to see another single crack and push victory here, Sean? It seems to be that way.
It seems to be that way, and if we're approaching when the Kraken is going to respawn, if this next team fight goes the way of G2, and they're being so sneaky right now, I love it. Both teams are trying to find each other. They could necessarily win this game even without the Kraken. I feel like they could just go ahead and take the aggression, and there's more aggression.
Well, there you go. There's another couple of crits. Chief going extremely low. Hundor's going to be able to jump forward another couple of seconds. From Hell's Heart does land, and the Kraken's been started up as well. And now PT Lamb has the opportunity to get back into this fight. Chief takes a little bit too much damage. Has to for the flask. Hundor backing off, trying to get away from Rikomeza. Jumps straight over the wall. He's still alive somehow. Dark Potato and Keanu are going to be able to dissuade another re-engage here from Dynasty. Nice block on the From Hell's Heart on Dark Potato. Does use that reflex block, but that does leave Chief all alone. Chef ends up falling, and that'll be G2 finding 1, and that could very well be the Kraken as well.
Yeah, really smart move by Hundor actually to jump over that wall to avoid all the damage that was coming on. You don't want to be a Baron fighting in narrow corridors if they're able to get up in your face. And him just jumping over the wall like that, using those auto attacks, and in addition, the Kraken's on the leash for them. G2, oh man, is looking so strong right now.
This is almost looking like a perfect game apart from that Crystal Sentry going down earlier. Rikomeza was determined to make sure G2 didn't have that one. Like you said, that Kraken is now roaming down the lane. G2 are looking and setting their sights onto day number 2, where they will face SK Gaming if they end this game in the next couple of minutes. A 10,000 gold lead at 16. This is G2 showing up and playing it to their strength and win condition. Hundor, the true hyper carry we know he can be, has stepped up, and oh boy does he look good.
Boy, he looks good. This choke point turret's getting wailed on by the Kraken now. We do see double shatter glass for Dark Potato here. Those minions are going to be hitting pretty good, and they're going to be very tanky. It's going to be very difficult to deal with them. Hundor goes in.
There's the jump jets. The blast tremor does only hit one, but that might just be enough. A nice stun onto PT Lamb. Has to use those boosts and skedaddle to get out of there. And Hundo almost one-shots him as he makes his way back to the base for some more healing. G2 playing it low and slow for the time being. Remember, Hundo's splash damage is a lot at this point in the game. That Gauntlet's going to separate them, but that Ion Cannon doing a lot of damage. Hundo jumps forward. Can't quite find the executing kill on PT Lamb. Rikameza trying to chase after him right now, but there's just too much gap between them. He ends up finishing them off, and now is a 2v3, but Hundo makes it look easy. PT Lamb once again running for his life back to the base, and G2 now just focusing on that crystal. They want to face SK. They want to be able to go to Worlds. That is still on the line for them. They take the series 2-0.
Oh, really well done by G2. This is why they are one of the two titans, the G2 Giants of such smart plays. Hundor 8-0-1 on this Baron. This hyper carry, what he is known for, doing so much work here. Just when you think he's going low and Rikameza is going to get himself a kill, no, he's just going to kite away and burst him down.